There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Welcome everybody. This is The Psychic and the Doc here on the Transformation Network. I'm Mark Anthony, the Psychic, and I am here with the most incredible co-host imaginable, Dr. Pat Baccili. She is a world-renowned behavioral psychologist. She's hysterically funny. She has these amazing insights, and I'm proud to call her not just my colleague, but my friend. And together, we decided to put this show together on the air, and we're coming up on I think our third year now.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, and it's really exciting. And
has it been that long?
I know. Well, what? We started during COVID, and the weird thing about COVID, it was 3 years. It's like we all went through high school in 3 years, and then it was over, and I'm connecting with people, and it's like, I remember when I was in high school, 3 years seemed like a long time. Now it just seems like a time warp phase shift. Yeah, and now, you know, we're back. I'm back out there. Dr. Pat was recently in Chicago speaking at a conference, and I've been got back from Texas for a tour there, and we were talking.
All of my exes are in Texas.
All my exes are in Texas.
I'm sorry. I was just listening to country music, so I am just like, I have got Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Mary Lou Harris in my mind singing "Oh, the Pain of Loving You," and wow. So. I'm so sorry for everybody. I apologize up front if you're going to just, if you start singing.
Well, that's part of the fun of the show. I mean, you know, you never know. Dr. Pat may break out into some Patsy Cline, you know, so.
Oh, my God. We got to say Patsy Cline, Juice Newton. Who's the other one? Patsy Cline, Juice Newton, and a couple of others for a really, really, really sad show. Because Juice Newton singing "Break It to Me Gently." Are you kidding me? That was sung by, oh my God, way back. The original song. Oh, I'll look it up. But who makes songs like this? It's like, I think if you've had heartbreak, you really know what those songs mean, right? But then when you see these voices.
Pain's a great motivator for creativity. And, you know, it's like, you know, when I remember my first book, I wrote that because I was in so much pain from loss, and the words will just come out, the feelings will come out. And speaking of the pain of loss, July is Bereaved Parents Month. Yes, and so Dr. Pat and I decided to dedicate this show to honoring bereaved parents who are also known as Shining Light Parents. There's an amazing organization, and we mention it all the time on the show, called Helping Parents Heal. And helpingparentsheal.com is an amazing, very, very beneficial organization. And it literally does that. It helps parents heal from the most unimaginable, excruciating loss, which is that of a child. And people ask, well, where did the term shining light come from? It's a multifaceted term. It means the light of your child will continue to shine in your heart, and the love will shine in your heart, but also that the light of your child's soul shines ever brightly in eternity. And I certainly not only believe that, but I've based one of my major theories, the electromagnetic soul, on the energy of the soul shining in eternity. And what Dr. Pat and I do, for listeners who may be unfamiliar, is, obviously we discuss a lot of topics, but I'll connect callers with their loved ones in spirit. And a lot of the things that come through, maybe metaphor, may not immediately be recognizable. And Dr. Pat is an expert in interpreting these messages. And certainly her background as a behavioral psychologist is just ideal. And, Dr. Pat, we talk about this now and again, but where we got the idea to do the show, you had invited me to be on your show, the Dr. Pat Show, which is also on Transformation Network. And I highly recommend everyone tune into the Dr. Pat Show every day. And we were taking calls from listeners, and there was somebody who was suicidal. And I connected this person with her loved ones in spirit. And then you chimed in and said, maybe you need to think about it this way. And between the two of us, by the end of the call, you got the person to agree to call the suicide hotline and reach out for help. And then after the show, Dr. Pat and I were sitting there with Rocky, and we were having a glass iced tea or something. And Dr. Pat said, wouldn't it be neat if we did some kind of show like this regularly? And now here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it was a time whose ideas come. And, I worked with somebody, wow, like many, many, many years ago on the concept. And they never really went through with it. They never went through with the concept. And I wasn't ready to do it on my own. But it is the way that we help people. What you do, Mark, is connecting people in ways I'm always stunned. I mean, every time I'm finished with the show, I got to walk in the other room and I say, do you know what Mark just did? Do you know what Mark just did? Do you know what and then I explain what Mark just did. And they said, no. I said, listen to the show. But you see, we're coming from a place of service. Yeah. I mean, I know that. I never thought that would be me in my life ever. But so are you. And, you didn't start out like that. You started out as an attorney. I started out as selling hot dogs. But, here we are today. And, somebody asked me something, Mark, and we're going to go to break, and I'm going to go right to the phones. And I've asked Sierra to go get those two songs. I have permission for all of you that are screening this show. I'm going to tell you, we're going to be playing music by Juice Newton, and I have permission to play it. And I have permission to play her music. So if you need evidence of that, call me. But we're going to try to play some of those songs. I asked Sierra to try to find Break It to Me Gently, but also The Sweetest Thing, right? Those two songs go hand in hand. But we're here because the demand and the statistics are out, Mark. And, I mean, drug and alcohol abuse in age groups, we never thought we'd see it. I mean, everybody wants to point to young people. That's not what we're singing. So if we can't provide at least an hour of relief for people, then we're not doing enough.
Exactly. And that's what this is. The Psychic and the Doc is a safe space. This is a welcoming space for those of you who are wounded, not just from the death of a loved one, but from any pain. I mean, as an attorney, I've helped people deal with all types of issues, and Dr. Pat, as a psychologist, has helped people from all walks of life deal with every type of problem. And that's why we're here, the psychic and the psychologist. I mean, you're not going to find this anywhere else.
I love that one. That's very good. But it's funny. Let's go to a short break. And when we come back, I want to go right to the phones. Today's show is all about you guys. 1-800-930-2819. Jessica and I were talking before, and we're getting ready for a launch, and we're looking at our new app and app design. And there's certain things we're going to change. One of the things we're going to start to add is text messages. Now, it's going to be a little difficult with text messages, but at least with text messages, we're going to find a way so that people that text us, we can call and bring them on the line. So we're really looking for all the suggestions you all gave us, even though the technology has not been developed. We're developing some of it because we can do better. When we come back, we're going to go right to the phones, but I just need to know how Mark did on Coast to Coast. That's what I really want to find out. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back with Psychic and the Doc. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is a show dedicated to you. We're not going to wait any more time. When we get a minute, Mark will tell us about. Mark
Coast
is
to
really,
coast.
he is getting out there. I love it. I got to get me on coast to coast. There's a few stories I think they'd love to hear. But today's show is all about you. Sierra, who do we have first? Let's go right to the phones.
First up, we have Kim from South Dakota. Kim from South Dakota, you are live.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
Hey, Kim, are you there?
I wanted to talk to Kim about Sturgis. So I don't know where Kim went. She's got to come back on. Sturgis,
okay, why don't we go to our second caller?
Places. All right, let's go to the second caller, please.
Okay. Instead of Kim, we have Donna from New York. Donna,
Hi, Donna.
You are live.
Hey, Donna.
Hi, Pat and Dr. Pat and Mark. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Anytime, Donna. How can we help you?
I've had tremendous loss over the last 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, Donna.
So sorry, Donna.
The most recent, thank you, was 4th of July. And I'm in a lot of pain. And I'm hoping for a message from someone that might help with this pain.
Okay.
Okay, Donna, let us
do our best.
Yeah, let me first off, on behalf of Dr. Pat and I and everyone here at Transformation Network, please accept our deepest sympathy for everything that you're going through and for all the callers. Dr. Pat and I, we've all lost people and we know how crushing it can be. Let me open up to frequency, and there's a male energy coming through, Donna. And he feels like he could be either your generation or the one below it. What that would mean is he could be on the child, nephew, son level. And what I'm getting with him is, wow, I'm feeling, and please understand that when I start describing things, sometimes it's pretty graphic because this is what spirits are giving me. But I'm getting this impact sensation throughout my body. And I am tasting blood. That doesn't always mean a bleed out. It could be an internal hemorrhage, but I'm getting a massive impact. And a massive impact, what that usually means, Donna, is that this was a sudden or abrupt passing. And the other thing that I'm getting is like he was really trying to breathe toward that. He was trying to catch his breath, but no matter what he did, he couldn't catch his breath. And then I'm feeling this massive pain at the bottom of my rib cage on the left side in the area of the pancreas. So there could have been an impact there, because normally when I get that indicates like pancreatitis or pancreatic issues, pancreatic cancer or diabetes, but that's not what this feels like. I feel like someone's coming up and hitting me. So I'm getting this massive impact. Does any of this make sense to you, Donna?
I can't think of anything right now. No.
Hold on. Normally when I do readings, there's private readings on the phone, which you can schedule through my website, afterlifefrequency.com. I give about a 15-minute orientation. Is there a younger male connected to you who has passed?
Well, would be same generation as me, not.
Remember, I said could be your generation or the one below it. So your generation would be your generation. And so that's why, and I know I talk really fast, but when I say things, because it could be your generation or the one below it. So your generation, okay. Now, did this male, did he die abruptly, unexpectedly, or did he have issues in the area of his pancreas?
He was hit by a car.
Okay, that's the impact sensation. Remember I was saying I'm feeling impact throughout my body. So there was probably a massive impact in the area of his rib cage. And so that's why, see, I know when I'm getting good information, and that's why I knew I wanted to stick with this. what he's saying is, was he walking? Was he walking when this happened? Because here, before you say anything, what I'm getting is he was looking in the opposite direction, and then he looked, and it was like, his last words were like, "Oh, because this totally took him by surprise. He didn't see this until the last second. Does any of that make sense?"
Yes, it would. It would be my cousin. He had a
I'm sorry.
fender bender. It would be my cousin. He had a fender bender, and he got out of the car to look at the damage. And
there you go.
He was
got it. There we go. Yeah, because I feel that he was on his feet. In other words, he was not in a vehicle. Okay, hold on. All right, you don't necessarily have to divulge anything, but look, I'm going to tell you what he said, Donna, and this could be interpreted a couple different ways. He shows you with a bottle of pills. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to OD or anything like that, but this could mean that maybe you're on a lot of medications, or you're contemplating taking medications beyond a recommended dosage, but he keeps showing you with a lot of medications. Now, the other interpretation of this is there could be somebody in spirit connected to you who may have passed from some type of drug interaction, but he's making it a point to present this to me. Does any of this resonate with you?
I've been very ill and on a lot of medication.
Okay, so that's his way of letting you know that he's around you and aware of what's happening in your life. Now, I know that we all know somebody named Michael, but I keep hearing Michael. And if this Michael's, okay, does that make any sense?
My father.
Okay, so we got your cousin and we got your father, all right? And, your father's in spirit, obviously, and what I'm getting with him, he said that his passing, everybody knew it was coming. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's what he wants to tell you, Donna. He said, my little Donna, my Donna, he said, you are always so sensitive. He said, you always worried about everybody. You always put everyone's feelings ahead of your own. He said, she always wanted everything to be perfect. And he said, and that is just what makes you so beautiful, Donna, is how much you are so concerned. And he said that he knows that he raised a really strong girl who's now a very, very vibrant woman. And he said, she may not understand this now, but she will endure and she will see the light again. Dr. Pat?
Oh, thank you.
Donna, how are you right now? How are you doing?
A lot of pain. A lot of pain.
Yeah. I mean, July 4th is very, very close, isn't it? To go through that again, huh? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's hard sometimes to know what to do, especially when something is that recent. What I want to say to you is you've already taken a first step by calling in here. I don't even know if you know how important that is. Right, Mark?
Yeah, I do.
It totally.
Okay. And see, you have the ability to reach out for help. You live in New York, right? You live in New York, right?
Yes, I do have a counselor that I talk to every week.
Now, I'm not saying for you to do this. I think it's a little soon, but I'm going to give you the thought. When I lost somebody very, very close to me a number of years ago, somebody suggested something. I thought it was the most horrible idea on the planet when they did. And they suggested that I do some service work for others. And I couldn't understand how that was going to help me at all. But the service work that came up for me was so special and so healing that keep that in the back of your mind. I'm not telling you to go do it now, because I do believe you got to go through the grieving process. July 4th was like yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, this was a very important person to you, wasn't it, Donna? Really important?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody really close to you, obviously.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're doing all the right thing. Allow yourself to grieve, okay?
Yes.
But you
Yes.
must take care of yourself. Allow yourself to grieve. Reach out. There are hotlines you can call. Don't be ashamed to do that. You know, I don't know what's up with us girls from New York, but it's a little bit harder for us sometimes to reach out for help, I think sometimes. But you've got to be able to do that. You did the first step, calling in. What else can we do to support you? You've got to know that our hearts are with you. You've got to know that.
And
Just
if
prayers.
go
A lot
ahead,
of
Donna.
prayers. We do
A lot
that.
of prayer. And
Prayers.
Donna, you have to realize, I mean, July 4th, that was not even
Yesterday.
Yeah, that was
It's
just
like yesterday.
days ago.
Yeah.
And so my experience, there may be 5 stages of grief, but there's 2 phases: shock and trauma.
Exactly.
And you're in the shock phase right now. This is where the death is new. It's, you're trying just to grasp the fact that it happened. You feel like you're going through the motions. It's like you're kind of watching yourself from the outside, and you're in this fog. And then eventually that's going to fade, but then you have to deal with the trauma, and that's what we live with for the rest of our lives. And what I agree 100% with Dr. Pat. You calling in to us is an important first step. And I just want to reiterate everything Dr. Pat said. Yeah. Don't go through this alone. Reach out to friends, reach out to family, your faith community, the grief hotlines. Don't do this alone, because there are people who care and who are there. And Dr. Pat and I are 2 of them.
Yeah, I think it was at the time, I think I spent something like 24 hours in St. Patrick's Cathedral. I couldn't get out, and whatever it is that gets you connected. But know that you're loved, Donna. You got that? You just have to remember that.
Thank you.
Mind. Please remember that. Okay.
Thank you.
Call in anytime, Donna. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank
Donna.
you so much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Much love to you, Donna. Let's take a short break if we could, Sierra. We'll be right back, everyone. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Psychic in the Doc. And don't forget, Kim, if you're floating around out there in South Dakota, you got to talk to me here, okay? I need to know how we're doing over there. I got stuck in Sturgis, and I bought some boots and hauling my Harley out there. So come on, call in. But we have other people waiting on the phones, and we're going to go right to it. But before we do, Mark, please give everybody an update on what you're up to and how they can find out how to stay in touch and keep up with you.
Well, I've got a lot going on, and I invite everyone to go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. And please sign up for my newsletter. And the OMI Awards, sponsored by Om Times and iSpirit Media, are this Sunday, which is the 16th. The 16th. And my book, The Afterlife Frequency, has been nominated for Best Metaphysical Book of the Year. And I was nominated as Best Psychic Medium. And so the OMI Awards are going to be Sunday night. And if you go to my website, it'll give you the link to watch the OMIs. I understand that a worldwide press release has gone out today announcing this. And then on Saturday, August 12th, you can also find this on my website. I will be giving a presentation sponsored by the International Association for Near-Death Studies online called the NDE Zone. Nice. And it's about how we're connected to the light, from the cosmic to the subatomic. And I get into the science of spirit communication, but this is also a very healing and empowering presentation for anyone who is trying to make sense out of the loss of a loved one. So those are just a couple of the things that I've got out there. And certainly we want to mention our dear friend Jana Short, the chief editor of Best Holistic Life magazine. And if you go to my website, you can sign up for Best Holistic Life as well. Jana's a good friend to the show. We've had her on a number of times, and I'm looking forward to her coming back. And Best Holistic Life is an incredible magazine that's for body, mind, spirit, holistic healing. And I'm honored to, I've just been elevated to VIP executive contributor, and I write articles every month. And Dr. Pat and I actually co-authored an article for Best Holistic Life. So everyone can find out about that by visiting my website, afterlifefrequency.com. Sign up for my newsletter, find out about a reading with me. Dr. Pat, I think we should go back to the phones. What do you think?
Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go. Sierra, who do we have next?
Okie dokie. We have Linda from Florida. Here you go, Linda.
Hi, Linda. Welcome
my
to the
goodness.
show.
Hello. Thank you so much for taking my call. I love you guys, and I love listening to you, and I love what you do for people. It's awesome.
Thank you. I'm so glad you got through, Linda. How can we help you today?
Oh, I was hoping to hear from my son.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what Mark can do here.
Okay, hold on. When I open up the frequency, everyone's got a lot of spirits connected to them. Sometimes the person you want to hear from the most may not be the first one in, but I think we may have your son. There's a younger male energy coming through. And what I'm getting with him is, the reason I'm hesitating is, Linda, I feel like there's this block in my throat and this block in my lungs. I mean, all of a sudden, it's like, I feel like, okay, that's making sense. Yeah, and it came on so quickly, and I'm also feeling very cold. Now, when I feel cold, and you're calling from Florida, and if your son was in Florida, I don't think this means ambient temperature. This would indicate circulation. So what I'm getting is blockage, throat, lungs, and I feel very cold, and I feel like this impact to my head. Let me explain what I mean by the impact of the head. That does not necessarily mean head trauma. That's one of my indicators when I get a jolt to my head that lets me know that this came upon him very, very abruptly, very suddenly. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes, and he was in Nevada, and we lived in Wyoming. So that may be where the cold comes in.
Actually been cold. Okay. All right. Hold on. And he said, I slipped. Interesting. The slip doesn't necessarily mean slipping as I'm walking on a floor and slipping, but he says, I slipped. Yeah. And he says, and he said, I also hesitated. I hesitated. And he keeps repeating, hesitated. He hesitated, reaching out for help, and then I slipped. Does that make that may? Okay. Now I understand. Okay, so he was going through something. He slipped, as in he started drinking again, and he hesitated, reaching out for help. Okay. He said, no, nothing could have changed the course of these events. He keeps repeating this. Nothing could change the course of these events. He keeps repeating that over and over. And now he's showing me a very interesting image. It's a lion. Now, lions are cool because it could indicate maybe you or he likes lions or images of lions. However, generally when I see a lion, that's an indicator for the Leo time frame. And the Leo time frame.
Yep, he was a Leo.
He was a Leo. All right, so now we know we got him. Okay. He said, Mom, there with you every day. There with you every day. He said, I see your tears. I feel your thoughts. I know your feelings. He said, and realize I'm a heartbeat away. He says, I'm a heartbeat away. Now, that doesn't mean go, take your life to be with him. He said that you two are so energetically linked that he knows when your heart is filled with despair, and that draws him to you. He also wants you to know that you're not anchoring him here or holding him back. He said, it's the least I can do to reach out to and you always had the right advice, but I didn't always have open ears. That's what he wants you to know.
Yeah, I get that. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Hold on, Dr. Pat.
Hi. I want a question. What do you make of the message Mark just gave you? What does it mean to you?
I'm sorry, what?
Tell me where that's you. What do you make the message that Mark just passed on to you?
Oh, everything. Everything. He hit the nail on the head on everything that he said.
Mm-hmm. The reason I'm bringing it up is I want you to really lean into the idea of a lion, because it's a very, very important, it's a very important symbol. I must say that lion, you have a lion and a lioness, right? That's you, you know. Did you know that? A lioness?
No. Nope.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah, that's you. And they're equal and they're so harmonious. You understand? You know, out of everything you hear up, probably not another creature that we think about, not even humans, that we put so together. When we talk about a lion, we also almost instantaneously, you know, see a lioness. And by the way, we confuse them all the time. And so think about this as beyond him being a Leo. I want you to think about this moving forward as a new spirit animal for you. Do you know what I mean when I say spirit animal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because the idea of this is to move from suffering to thriving. And it represents everything you need: strength and wisdom and courage and confidence. You understand? And power and royalty. Okay. And so there's also something I want to leave you with. You know, these are powerful cats. They also represent power, but they are a reminder to connect with yourself. You see, they're symbolic of external power, but they really calling you to tap into the inner part of yourself, your internal guidance system, because there must be something right now for you that you're seeking some internal guidance about. I don't know what it is, but please explore that for yourself, because this is the animal spirit that will get you there, right? You see what I'm saying? There's some internal guidance.
Ma'am.
There's something you're looking for. Okay. This is also a dream realm. So don't be surprised if it shows up in a dream. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my.
One last thing.
Thank you both so much.
I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but you should also know that the lion is also a symbol of God.
Yes.
I don't know what you believe in or what you don't believe in, but take that with you. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
I will. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thanks.
Love you too. Wow.
God bless you.
You're helping so many people today. What a great, I'm telling you, it's great. Mark, congratulations on all that you're doing. Really, congratulations. I mean, the awards, I think they're great, but they're also symbolic. You know, they represent a level of respect for you and the work you're doing in the world and what you're doing to change it and how you're doing to change it and what you're doing, all of that. And isn't that why we keep doing what we're doing? So we can make a change in the world, make it a better place, right? You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes I hit it and sometimes I don't.
Well, I think, you hit it all the time. And the thing is, Dr. Pat, I really love how you went into the understanding of a lion, because they're such complex creatures, and, you know, a lioness protecting her cubs. All right, you know, the male lion with the mane, that's what we think of, but who's the real badass in the lion, in the animal? It's the lionesses. And there is no one more powerful, I think, than a mother. So I thank you for that.
That's it. Exactly. Sierra, what do we have? Do we have anybody waiting?
Yes, we do. We have Michelle from North Carolina. Michelle, you are live.
Do it. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the show. Hey.
Hi. Thank you so much for picking me tonight.
You're
I
welcome.
really enjoy
Thank
your
you for
show.
calling. Thank you. How can we help you tonight, Michelle?
Well, I would like to know if I could possibly hear from my husband, who has passed about a year and a half ago.
Okay, hold on, Michelle. Don't give me too much. Don't give me too much. Okay.
Yeah, we don't. Let's not make this easy on Mark. Okay.
What it is, I'm an evidential medium, and I want the spirit to give me the information that you're able to validate. And when they do that, then they lock onto me, and then they're going to start transmitting deeper pieces of information. So I got a male energy coming through, and I immediately, Michelle, and don't take this the wrong way, I feel like I want to burst into laughter. This guy had to have had a great sense of humor. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
Somewhat?
He was kind of grumpy.
Well, hold on. And he's playing with his hair. What was going on with his hair? Did he have a lot of hair, losing his hair, but he's playing with his hair?
No, he was bald. He'd shave it bald.
Okay, see, you're doing what I call the no syndrome. Playing with his hair. He wasn't born bald. I mean, well, maybe as a baby, but he had hair as he was a child, a teenager, and a young adult. So why do you think your husband, who was bald before he died, is now playing with his hair, aka he's an immortal living spirit? You see, what he's doing here is he's morphing into a younger, vital, healthy version of himself. And spirits do this all the time, because if you notice, this is the first reading tonight I even mentioned hair. And I don't mention things unless the spirit transmits this to me. So the issue is hair. He was bald. And now as a spirit, he's mentioning hair because he wants you to know that he's just fine. With his passing, I feel so thirsty. Something was going on with him prior to passing that was creating a tremendous sense of dehydration. I feel so parched. I feel my mouth is very dry, very, very salty. I'm also getting this wheezing sensation. I'm feeling sharp pains in my head. Basically, the whole ear, nose, and throat areas very heavily affected. I feel like I can barely breathe, and every piece of connective tissue in my body was aching. This poor guy was in, and please forgive me, but he was in a tremendous amount of pain and discomfort prior to his physical transition. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. What was his official cause of passing?
Lung cancer.
That would explain the wheezing, the pain, the discomfort. Was he under hospice care prior to passing?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Was he under the care of hospice or some other medical treatment where he was heavily medicated prior to his passing?
Yes.
See, that would account for the sense of dehydration. And please understand that when a spirit transmits to me the symptoms of how they passed, and I know that when I describe them, I can sound very clinical. Believe me, I'm very, very sympathetic. It's just that the spirit's giving these to me, but he also wants you to know that those are just indicators for us to identify him. And he wants you to know that now that he's free of his body, he said, "Babe, I'm A-okay. Babe, I'm A-okay." He keeps saying A-okay, A-okay. And he keeps doing this thing with his pinky. You guys ever, like, I don't know, somebody have a pinky ring, or did you guys ever hold pinky? He's doing this whole pinky thing. There's got to be something with a pinky, either connected to him or you, or something with pinky.
Me, him, and my daughter, we used to do the little pinky square.
There you go.
And I made him promise that if he was leaving me, he had to stay around. And
well, apparently
he swore to that.
Well, there we go. That's why he's giving you the what do you call it, the pinky swear? Well, that's why he's bringing that up. And that's what he's letting you know, because he's never going to break that promise. That's one of the reasons why he's coming through me to you now. And he said, now he keeps talking about hair, and he's like, honey, what is with your hair? What is, all right, look, I don't mean to get to the whole hair thing. Come on. What's going on with your hair?
Well, it's hot down here, so I've been pulling it up more. He's not used to that.
He said, you're always beautiful. He said, you were always beautiful to me. Always beautiful. He said, no matter what. And he said, just don't make me eat that soup anymore. All right, what was with the soup? There was some kind of soup.
Not sure.
He said, just don't make me eat that soup. And I want you to think about that one. Go ahead.
Anything about my daughter?
Yeah, when he focuses on your daughter, she's here in this world, right?
No.
Oh. Hold on. Did she pass after him?
No, she's still living.
Oh, she's still living.
All right. When I said, is she here in this world? You said no. Okay. And you said she's still living. See, people here in this world are living. So he was focusing on her, and then you threw me for a loop. Okay. So deep breath, Michelle. Deep breath, relax. When he focuses on her, before you say no, I just want this to resonate. He keeps showing me a gingerbread house. A gingerbread house. Now, maybe you or your daughter like ginger, or somebody's got ginger colored hair, or there's something about the spice ginger, or something about gingerbread, but he keeps showing me a gingerbread house. Here, while she's thinking about that, Dr. Pat, go ahead.
It might be her hair color.
Which is what color?
Right now, she's got it dyed with a burgundy red color, but that's the nickname. Ginger is reference to red. Ginger is a reference to people with red color hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these pop culture things. You know what I'm saying, Michelle?
Well, with gingers,
like a pop culture thing.
With gingers, the thing is, I think calling somebody that has red hair, I always thought that was offensive, because it isn't red.
Yeah.
It's ginger. If you look at the color ginger. So that's why he's showing you gingerbread. He wants you to know that he's around you and your daughter, because he knows what color her hair is. So I'll leave that with you.
Thank you. Michelle, look, I think you got plenty of information to take in from Mark. I know you miss him. I know that. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
What do you do? Can I ask you? I don't know why I'm going to ask you this. What are you doing with your daughter? Are you doing anything with her? Do you see your daughter on a regular basis?
Yeah, she lives with me, but right now she's in a behavioral hospital to get help. She's having a hard time with him grieving. And
that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Okay. Yeah. That's why I asked the question. Do you see her often, or are you able to see her?
Yes, I'll be able to see her Saturday.
Okay. Let's put all that aside. What are you doing to take care of you here, Michelle? What are you doing?
I'm trying to keep myself busy around the house. We just moved here to North Carolina, so.
Yep. Okay.
Just trying to adjust everything.
Do you have it's hard when you just move in there. Do you have a community or someplace you can reach out to really be part of a group of something, to really get plugged into other people that can help you through this process? Because it's not just one person you're losing here. You know what I'm saying? I know you lost your husband, but now you're concerned about your daughter too, I would imagine, correct?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say, Mark, right?
Yeah, you know what? I was curious about the gingerbread house, so I do something I don't normally do. I Googled the symbolism of gingerbread house, and the first thing that came up said, one family tradition that many Americans do during Christmas, build gingerbread houses together, a symbol of family and of home. although not a religious tradition, it does remind us that being together as a family is God-given and something to be thankful for. So what I believe the gingerbread house, in addition to the color of her hair, and Dr. Pat, I'll defer to you, is that your husband is saying that he is so thankful that you and your daughter were in his life and was a gift from God.
Yeah. And also when I'm going to leave you with this, and I want you to hold what I'm about to say to you. When you get a home that shows up, it's a very powerful symbol. And what a home shows up. Now, Mark didn't say a crushed gingerbread house, a smash. He brought a gingerbread house, something that's made from love, generally speaking. And it's also made to last. Very few people actually eat their gingerbread houses. And so the message that I want to hold on to is your home is not broken. Do you hear me?
Amen.
Do you hear me? Your home is not broken. You're grieving. This is normal, but your home is not broken. You know, grief hits us in ways we don't understand still. So your daughter really needs your love, and you need your love. You okay? Can you do that then? But
absolutely.
Okay. That's your mantra. My home is not broken. Okay. Very strong woman.
It's great. I'm trying.
You really are. Look, you know, those of us that have been called strong women, we need to cry sometimes. I'm telling you, when I showed up in New Jersey the first night to help my best friend, and I didn't think she was going to make it the next day, I cried all night long. It is okay to cry. Okay.
It is. Sometimes I'm so strong that it's hard to cry when I need to cry. And, you know, I'm kind of in limbo financially, waiting to hear from disability.
That's okay. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You're in what you call a neutral zone. Yeah, you're in a neutral zone. Yeah, it's not limbo. You say limbo to me. I mean, I grew up Catholic, so you say limbo to me. But I want to just give you another phrase. You're in a neutral zone. You're just waiting. See?
Yeah.
Don't lose hope and don't lose faith. Yeah,
no, absolutely.
Call them. You got to call people every day on this stuff. You know what I mean? We think we're polite. I don't want to call them. I don't want to bother them. I don't want to, bother them. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, I did. I called them last week. They said that they were waiting on work history, but they already have that.
That's okay.
And they're at 50.
Just waiting for the holidays.
Do you feel that
don't worry. You know what I'm saying? You don't lose the faith. Hold it. Don't worry. Don't be anxious over it. If not this, something better will happen. But it's a neutral zone. It's just a neutral place for you at the moment. Okay? Things will move quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't lose faith in that. Take care of what you need to for yourself and take care of your daughter if you don't mind.
Definitely. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate. Yeah, we're going to send you lots of prayers and lots of love. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. What a great show, Mark, huh? Amazing.
Wow. Yeah. And, you know, even though we have other callers on the line, Dr. Pat and I will be back next Thursday. Yeah. And please call back, call in, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And, you know, we take our time with the callers. We just don't, you know, whisk them through because, you know, everyone who's grieving, you don't want to be pushed through like you're in the express lane at the grocery store. Yeah. Everybody matters. Everybody counts. And Dr. Pat and I, you know, we want to spend the time with you, but we also want the people that we didn't get to tonight to call back next week as well.
Yeah. And I think there's one in particular. Please know that we have your name, and when you call in again next week, we have your name written down, and we tried to do our best to move you right to the top. So I know there was one caller tonight we didn't get to from back there on the West Coast where I live, and also Kim from South Dakota. Not sure what happened, but remember, you folks that it didn't get on today, we're going to make sure we get you in. Mark, congratulations on everything. Again, congratulations on the awards and all that you do. Sierra, thank you so much for pushing all the right buttons. And I want to just say something to our audience for a moment. you may think that you're calling into a show, and I know many of you are in a lot of pain, but we get feedback at the network, and the feedback we get is they don't always remember your name, but they'll say the woman from New York, or the man from Chicago, the woman from Florida, North Dakota, she or he changed my life. And so I know you're calling in for relief for yourself, but what I want to say to you is I want you to know that you're touching so many other lives that you may not hear from, but they tell us how grateful they are that you had the courage to call in when they couldn't muster it up just yet. Mark, last word.
I want to thank all the callers, all of our audience, everyone for tuning in. It is such an honor to work with Dr. Pat, and an even greater honor to be of service to all of you. Thank you. Have a great night, and we will see you next week here on the Transformation Network on The Psychic and the Doc. God bless. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.